Hey everyone, it's Coeval. Hope you guys are having a great day. I've got another commentary for you. This is another 20 Graves game, a rematch between myself and Strelizia. I had a game 1 on YouTube, the last video that I posted, so if you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and give it a look. I'll put a card up at the top to link you guys to that so you can check it out. But yeah, this is a rematch, and it's 20 Graves once again. We've got a pretty simple opening, Arcane Flash into Mud. Strel with some nice movement there, jumping pretty effectively. And typically, yeah, in 10s, you want to keep your distance between you and your opponent and tower up. Even if you have a rush book in some cases. And so I'm just sitting in here and summoning my Pegasus and Swarm. Looks like I have a Dark Knight book, just kind of a generic Dark Knight book. I'll put the book at the beginning of the video. But yeah, she's got drone, so at this point I should realize that she has horror too, which is a pain. I do have mech arrow, which is easy to deal with the swarm, the drone there. And looks like both of us are kind of being passive. I don't really have a rush book, and she doesn't really have a rush book, or not necessarily she doesn't have a rush book, but her minions are going to do a lot of her damage compared to the spells that she has on her character. So she's going to want to do most of her damage with like the horror, because it has the dark matter bomb, which does like 80 and then spawns that extra projectile there that drops the following turn to do another 80 if the user stays in that sort of circle within the bomb radius. And you'll see it be used a bit later in the game. At this point, I'm thinking I should detower and maybe get a little bit closer to Strel. And in 20 seconds, I probably could have moved that Pegasus and pebbled her. And I think that would have been a good play. Because I'm starting to realize that staying in that one spot for the whole time, for the last 10 turns, it's not really doing me much good. And at this point, I was watching this replay over again, and I thought, I really should switch to offense here. 10s is all about knowing when to be offensive, knowing when to be defensive, and just being able to, make that change with the snap of your fingers. Realize it in the moment, within 10 seconds, obviously. Or in this case, 20 seconds, because it's 20 seconds. But low times are just a battle of, oh, should I be offensive? Should I be defensive? Here, I think, like I said last turn, I probably should have detowered, flighted over, pebbled her. Yeah, she's not detowered, but her prots are down. I can pebble again next turn. If she muds, I'm fine, because mud is kind of a barrier from her minions. If she muds, she can't starbolt me. If she muds, it's going to be hard for her to get a DMB kind of thrown in there if I position myself well. So I'm thinking that pebble spam was probably a good idea. Here instead I just bring a Pegasus out, and it's not really threatening. I mean, what am I really threatening here? I'm just kind of stalling. I don't really know what I'm doing. But yeah, definitely this would have been a good time to be aggressive, because now, you're starting to notice that she's just sitting in her tower, summoning a bunch of minions. Swarm, drone, horror, spirit. Now she has all of them out, and I'm forced to kind of just chill. Can't really do anything. So because of that, now she has Swarm out. I couldn't really get a good tempo on it. I just have to commit to being defensive. But, it's not ideal. Now I'm on the back foot because I'm defensive, but we'll see what I can do. I can probably block that drone with the peg and go for a pebble here. But instead I decide to go for mud, and that's just bad. That's just damn terrible. I mean, the reason it is because the way that she's successful in this game is by just sitting in her tower and moving her minions around. By mudding, it does basically no damage. She still has prots up, and she can still move her minions around. And I have 2 turns that it'll take to detower, unless I get pretty lucky with the pebbles like through the mud. It would have to be pretty lucky because I would have to hit all the pebbles except one. So here I think, again, instead of mudding, pebbles is the play. And I know I do have pebbles, I just didn't think about being aggressive in that moment. I was full on defensive because I was scared of the drone, scared of the horror. In this situation, I think, you know, having pebbles to detower and just kind of ignore the drone in some situations is best, because the drone can do a max of 50 damage. If Strel's detowered, she can't really take a turn to do 50 damage with the drone, because then I'll get a Mega Boulder off, I'll get a clock off, you know, I'll be able to do more damage in return. So instead of dealing with the drone, I think just ignoring it and pebbling is the best option. Now I'm in a tough spot though. I guess I just have to kill the drone here, kind of control the movement of the horror. And again, because she's mudded, now I don't have a direct shot to pebble, and I've just screwed myself over entirely. Because there's no way I can get all the way around the map, around the left side, all the way to the right in 20 seconds, and cast a spell. It would take at least 30 seconds to do that. So here, she gets a grab pulse off. Next play will probably be the Dark Matter Bomb, so I gotta be careful of that. And I don't think I thought about that in the moment, that she can just throw it. And it looks like there's a straight shot, a nice angle there between the horror and the Pegasus to just launch it. And I probably should have positioned myself a bit more to the left, maybe in this area where I zoomed in, so that Dark Matter Bomb isn't really an issue there. And then of course the Pegasus and Swarm die, and I get a shit ton of damage dealt to me. Now I gotta escape, otherwise I'm gonna be down to 80. It's just a total shitstorm, you know. But looking back at this game, there's a lot of lessons to be learned in recognizing, you know, when to be offensive and when to be defensive. Because I have a book that can deal with this if I just use my pebbles appropriately and knew what minions to ignore and what minions not to ignore. You know, putting the pressure on her and detowering her while she's trying to summon minions, it's going to make it a lot more difficult to get those minions out if she's being pebbled, being mega bouldered, being clocked, being, you know, pressured. So instead, you know, she's forever up a minion on me, or two minions in some cases, and my best turns are just draining them or using a mech arrow. Meanwhile, guess where she's at? Chillin'. So, yeah, super frustrating looking back on this game. Like, man, it just required a little bit of a change in a mindset. And that's something to learn in 10s, you know. I'm a 60s player, so I'm coming back to the game. I'm a bit rusty. I'm also spamming 10s and 20s just due to the tournament and just trying to, you know, get better at different settings. But now, yeah, like I said, chilling in that tower, I can never pebble because I don't have a good opening because I used that mud ball, which was a tragic mistake. And then she can just continue to summon minions. She's got 4 of them that she uses, as I pointed out earlier. All my moves are defensive or trapping the minions. I can't ever have a chance to get to her. So, you know, it's going to be kind of a wait and see deal to see if I can make any progress. At some point, you know, when the map is destroyed, she kind of has an advantage, but only temporary, because she's only got 1 Dark Matter Bomb left. She does have Graph Pulse, but I don't think the land is going to be dead anytime soon. So you can see there's a bunch of land here, so that's going to take a while to destroy. But yeah, at this point, I don't know, it's a bit difficult again. Like, now my window to be aggressive is, you know, rapidly closing, and it's pretty much closed. There's no way that I can be aggressive here whatsoever. I just have to control the minions. Maybe if I could get a tree off to trap the horror, but then again, she'll just summon a drone or a swarm again. And then at this point, I can't really ignore the drone because then I'll be deflighted. And yeah, I can respond with an arrow, but I don't know, then I'm in a difficult situation again. I have to wait for my flight prot, I have to maybe summon another minion. I want to drain up maybe at some point, but she can always come over and deflight me with that drone. So I just decided to summon another Pegasus, which again is still kind of making me vulnerable to the drone attack, right? So maybe just double draining there is better, because the horror's still trapped. So just kind of eat that, and I know that the drone has to kill the swarm, has to take a turn to kill the swarm. So I think double draining is a ton better, actually, in that situation. Didn't think about that. But that would have been nice, because knowing that she has to take a turn, I do it now, which is fine too, I guess, but a turn earlier probably is even better. And then I can always go over there and mech arrow the drone. The Arma helps me out just a tiny bit. And looks like she can fit a horror through there too, so again, like I said 10 minutes ago, what's she doing sitting in that tower summoning minions? You know, probably got like a beer or some nice tropical drink or something, just sitting back in her chair, chilling. Basically not even having to press any buttons, and just, yeah. So, you know, from a positional standpoint, like, I'm better, a little bit, because I've got the middle of the map control, but she's also got minions to kind of block her, and you know, as the turns go on, the Arma is going to sneak toward the middle of the map. You notice it's targeting me a little bit, so, you know, maybe I'm not quite that much better from a positional standpoint, but definitely tempo-wise, she's had me this whole game, and I try to make an undead peg there, but she does still have the drone out, so that's really kind of a moot point, unless I get lucky with the skulls, which I don't, so she's going to come over and kill both of those. So yeah, any tempo plays I kind of make, because I'm forever down a minion because I wasn't aggressive early, it's just pointless pretty much. So my whole mode in this case, because I wasn't aggressive early, is to just survive as long as possible and try to minimize damage. I've done pretty well at that, actually, given her kind of crushing advantage that I've been describing she has for this whole game. We are at turn 26 and I really haven't lost much health, and I've got good prots. So there is that to be proud of. I don't know if I'm proud of it, but you know, I'm not dead. So small victories, I guess. I know that, again, she still has only one DMB. This is probably going to be a pulse. Yep, easy pulse. I'm running out of muds, which sucks. So there's not much I can do to deal with this horror here. And ooh, I just get nailed. Damn, was that 3 skulls? And I'm pulsed, I can't get out of there. I just have to tower. I control the Pegasus, or the horror's movement with the Pegasus a little bit, right? But yeah, is this syncable with a DMB? Maybe a stuff? Eh, not worth it. Probably because the horror is going to die. The only free horror would die, and then she'd just be left with this trapped one. So, probably a good move not to trap, not to kill this only horror that's free. And here, maybe I could have positioned that Pegasus better to trap the other horror. But, you know, I guess from my perspective, it's not really worth it because, well, she's got 2 horrors, so it's like, what am I really going to end up achieving from trapping one of them, right? So, if you can hear those dogs in the background, sorry about that. I got some dogs that are pretty loud, but anyway, we'll continue on with this commentary here. So finally on turn 30, I decide, oh, I'm going to pebble, yay, you know. But really I should have done that like, what, 15, 20 turns ago, right? Crazy. Pulses herself, not like it really matters that much. I guess finally I woke up, like I said, and decided, oh, I actually need to like hit the opponent to win. Holy shit, what a concept. But I guess she has a swarm out, so I had to respond with my own swarm. Otherwise, she would have undead it. I bring the draw offer up. I don't know how long that's been up, but you know why. It's probably because I'm losing. That's why. I was getting a bit frustrated just with how I was playing. And let's see here again. She's got a minion advantage up, like I said, at least one minion up for the whole game. And now, you know, my goal is to just survive as long as possible. I bring out the DK because I'm not sure I have tower. I don't have many options. So, you know, you do what you gotta do. Is it a good move? No. But if you knew what plays I had in the moment, and you know what spells that were on cooldown, it probably was one of the only ones. So, could I have played it better previously so that I'm not in the situation where I have to DK when it's just not even worth it? Yeah, probably. But, you know, we do what we gotta do. Now I'm up a minion somehow. The swarm I think died by the skulls. So maybe I've got a little bit of a chance here. Looks like I can go for a flash, or if a skull deflights, she gets a great mega off though. I'm not sure I have flight, so I have to do some maneuvering here, maybe. And doesn't quite work out because I wasn't able to get that DK up on that little ledge right here. This one, the mud ball. It doesn't jump high enough, so kind of lost a good tempo there. Wasn't able to get up. Maybe I could have, yeah, I could have gone the other way. Jumped on the DK here and then jumped from there. Maybe that is a jump that I can make. Decides to DMB the tower, which I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. But again, super high advantage health-wise, so probably wouldn't even matter that much at all. My flight just kind of, oops, you know, it's not really too smart on my part. I just didn't remember that I was pulsed. And the DMB actually hits her, but she's left with 10 health. Oh, Jesus. I can't believe this ending. Like, I was so lost for the entire game. And I don't know if I want to replay that. I might go back at the end of this commentary to see if I can get that Dark Knight charge to do 250. Because I know I've done it before. I saw Gol do it in the recent game. So, I don't know. I'd love to know if that's possible. So I lose out on some time here. And I get stuck. We'll see if I can get the pebble off. Yeah, I just fuck it up. Man, that's just super disappointing. I had a win right there. But in this last turn, this jump that I did up here, it's not needed. I just use the long jump to go to here and then I high jump up. Like, I don't need to do that whatsoever. But man, what a crazy game. She basically had me on the ropes for the whole entire game there. I wanted to go back and see if I could do that Dark Knight charge, if that was at all possible, or if it could do a bit more than 48 even. You kind of have to aim it just slightly to the left or right of the player. Sometimes straight up works, but let's see if I can do it here. Familiar, click to upgrade. Why is that, like, why is that writing coming up? That was like something that like a 6-year-old would do. Oh, so I elevated this, right? Or what did I do? I don't even remember. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not doing this in 20 seconds. I'm just, you know, taking my time here. But, yeah, did you guys see that? Familiar click to upgrade, like it's written by a 7-year-old. So, okay. I don't know if do I touch the opponent? Do I just go straight up here? Probably straight up looks good, because the Strelizia is not going to move. Is that 250 though? I'll just try here. Oh! Okay, that's a bit depressing that I could have done that. Well, now I know better on, you know, what I could do to get that late win. And let's see if I can execute that turn. I'll show you guys. I don't have a timer or anything, but, you know, I can at least do it fast. Just to show you that I could do it in 20 seconds. So, yeah, I guess I don't have pebbles on me, but for now, like, I just do that jump, this jump, 2 jumps here, and then maybe a long jump, a high jump there was the key, and then boom, I'm there for the pebble. Again, I don't have pebble, but yeah, I would have made it in time. I guess there's a timer up at the top. So, you know, I still got time. I can even At this point I would have queued, but yeah, you guys see I had time, and I would just aim the pebbles like a little bit below the face, and it would do 10 damage plus the additional 10 additional damage plus the 75 for the D tower. So yeah, just some kind of mistakes due to inexperience, I guess I would say. But especially that Dark Knight charge, since I'm a 60s player, you know, I should know how to position that and do it, but it's just different when you're executing it, you know, with low time. The problem is if the Dark Knight moves, you know, that much, then you're losing out on the damage because the charge isn't really making contact with the player, and so that's what ends up happening there. Is you want the charge to hit the make contact with the player for the entire duration, the entire time that the DK is swinging the axe. So, yeah, a couple kind of fatal mistakes and just kind of a strategical kind of misplay on my part overall, but it ended up being a super close game with the DMB and the Mega Boulder that she went for, and then I think just the positioning with after she DMB'd my tower, I was able to just get a little bit lucky with the elevator with the Dark Knight, and maybe she just didn't think I could do it in 20 seconds, right? But yeah, super interesting book that she had. You can see that basically like drone is super annoying to deal with. The horror is annoying to deal with because of the dark matter bombs, and she can just kind of sit and chill, and then any sort of advance by the opponent, she can just use mud, and you know it's really easy to kind of counter the offensive threats that the opponent comes with, and then if she's able to do that, she can just bring her minions out and start blasting. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like seeing these types of commentaries, please drop a like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you got all the way to the end. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.